Welcome to VL Speaks, a little ancient wisdom with modern twist. This is part 2 of episode 32. I ended the last episode with focusing on the relationship between your mind, body, and your breath. This relationship is all about connecting to that deep inner part of yourself. It's key, okay? So, how do you connect your body and your mind? Well, you do that with your breath. And that is something that you cannot live without. You can live with water for a while. You can live, which means I'm just going to have a little sip here. You can live without water. You can live without food. But you cannot live without your breath. Alrighty? And so I focused on this in episode 26. I focused on the importance of the breath and the qualities of your breath. So we're going to go back to that because it's very important. The qualities of your breath can shift your mindset because it's the loophole. Again, God's loophole, right? Being able to work with your breath is really important when you're dealing with, let's say, processing difficult memories or pain or trauma, physical trauma or stress. And how we use our breath can override different aspects of the nervous system. Yes, isn't that crazy? The body is an amazing thing. It really is. This connection is amazing. So the great thing about it is that it gives us a sense of control. Right? We can control these things. Once we learn how to use tools and how to implement them, then we have more control. And imagine having more control over your autonomic nervous system. Swami Rama said, and I love this quote, all of the body is in the mind, but not all of the mind is in the body. All right? And so he went on to say that the breath helps you make a deeper connection. So any unrest in the body and nervous system is because of the mind. Yeah. I remember when I first started to think about this in my late 20s and then in my 30s when I got ill, I was like, aha, now I'm really going to put this to the test. I'd already done it with other people, with clients, but then I put it to the test with myself, and I'm telling you, it's real. It's totally real. So all of the lifestyle and breath work, all this stuff is groundwork. This is foundational work for you to do when you go in and process and unearth things, okay? I know I'm making it seem very simple. It's not always simple. Developing new habits and then remembering to do them takes concerted effort and discipline, for sure. And it can be as easy or as difficult as you want it to be based on how you think about it. If you really love yourself, then doing it is not like, oh, do I have to do this? You're going to want to do it, because you want to work with your own mind. That's how you tap into this aspect of yourself, the self, that truest part of you. All right. So I'm just going to focus again. I did this in episode 26, and I'm going to do it here again with you. The qualities of the breath. I'm reiterating this because, again, remember I told you, the qualities of your breath can either kick in the sympathetic nervous system, which is that alert, fight or flight, or the parasympathetic. I always get a little tripped up on that. The parasympathetic side of your nervous system, which is going to help lower the heart rate, lower blood pressure, increase peripheral temperature, get the mind to settle down. Okay? There are other breathing exercises that you can do, but this is the fundamental. This is the basics to build everything else upon. So let's get into the qualities of the breath. First of all, breathing in and out of the nose. Why? Because there are filters in your nose. That's why. Okay? Breathing in and out through the nose. Letting the breaths be even and smooth. Next is, where in your body are you breathing? Are you a chest breather Or are you breathing into your belly and your diaphragm, which is where we want the breath to go? You want to relax the chest. That breathing and heaving into the chest actually induces that sympathetic nervous system, which, let's face it, a lot of people are already there. Your nervous system's already a little bit like on edge. You want to bring it down so that you can think clearly, all right? And the body follows wherever the mind goes, whether we're conscious of it or not. Okay? So, breathing in and out through the nose, evenly, even inhalation and exhalation, and then bringing that breath down into your belly. If you're not sure, put a hand on your chest and put a hand on your belly. See which one is moving. And now consciously close your eyes and let that breath start to move down into that hand in your belly. And if you're not sure, press a little bit harder into the belly. Okay? The diaphragmatic breathing is actually a little bit more advanced, where you really start to feel the sides of the rib cage expand because that diaphragm is dropping down and the lungs are filling up. And so the sides of the rib cage kind of just fan out just ever so slightly, ever so subtly, and then they come back in. If you watch babies breathing, hopefully they don't have any problems with their lungs or their body, but when you watch a healthy baby breathe, this is how they breathe. Just watch them. It's fascinating. I loved watching my little sister Vera when she was born. I'm 8 years older than her. I would come home from school and I would just watch her sleep and I would watch her breathe. It's a wonderful thing to do. Yeah, it's very relaxing. Yeah, you wonder how they learned how to do that, right? How did they learn how to breathe like that? They're already doing it. Alrighty, so the next thing is you want that belly breathing. Then you want to make sure that it's smooth. No jerkiness in the breath. Yeah? None of that. We want it to be smooth. In and out. Even. Quiet. Without any pauses or jerks or hesitations. You're not holding the breath. Swami Rama always used to say that when you hold your breath, it's like a mini death. I know that sounds intense, but think about it. Think about it. You probably you don't even realize that you're holding your breath a lot throughout the day, or that you're going into chest breathing, depending on what's going on with you. I have a little visitor with me today, a little kitty cat. His name is Leo. So you want smooth, even, continuous in and out through the nose, quiet, without any pauses or hesitations, one flowing into the next. These are the qualities of the breath that you want to be working with. Okay? And why? Because it helps you to shift the mind. It helps you, especially if you're feeling fearful. Okay? And I know, because I've done this, empirically speaking, shifting down into the breath. Even if you're having a muscle spasm, I used to get really bad muscle spasms in the legs, sleeping, and all of a sudden be woken up by it. And the only thing that would relax it was the focus on the breath and those qualities. Try it. Just do it. Okay? Especially if you're feeling stressed. But in the last episode, at part 1 of this episode, I said, make some time, carve out time for yourself. In that time, focus on that breathing, whether you're lying on your back comfortably or whether you're sitting in a chair, closing your eyes and just focusing on your breath. Okay. Episode, I also went into some relaxation tips and that as well. You can go back to that if you like. I gave a lot of tips in that episode, but practice those qualities of breath. Okay? The next thing, this is all groundwork for getting to know yourself, getting to know you. All right? Getting to know yourself. You want to also practice exercise. Move your body. Move it. It's important. Okay, if you've been very sedentary, don't decide that you're going to get some running shoes and then go run. Take baby steps. You haven't been doing anything? Go for walks. You're really great at walking and you have a body built for running, which is Means that you're thinner, you have a narrower frame. It's just easier on the joints when you're built like that, more of an ectomorphic kind of person, and some endomorphic, mesomorphic people, but people that tend to be a little bit bigger, walk, hike, you know, practice something that makes you feel better. Get those endorphins running through your body, okay? Move your body, swim, dance, cycle, roll around the floor. When I was ill, I rolled around. I did mostly yoga practice on the floor to ground me out and just get my body moving in a way that I wasn't creating tension in my body. Okay? Just do something to move your body and get connected with yourself. And be gentle about it. Again, if you haven't been active, do not do anything that's going to harm you, because if you get hurt, then it sets you back. I'm just saying. All right? So, you're focusing on the qualities of your breath. Sorry, I'm moving around, and I'm not going to retape this because no. So that jiggling, pardon me. We went from the breath, right? Movement of your body. Now what else? The food you eat. Remember I told you to simplify? Part 1, simplify. Cut out the clutter. Same thing with this. The first way to start is eliminate processed foods. Okay, yes, it's nice to have a little soda pop that doesn't have high fructose corn syrup in it with a slice of pizza. Of course it does. But is this what you're having every day? Okay, what are you eating? All of those additives and preservatives that are in food that you can't pronounce, they don't belong in your body, okay? They don't belong there. It's harder for your body to break down, and it doesn't help you think clearly. It sets your pancreas and your liver, and everything starts going crazy. You don't even realize it, especially if you've been doing it for a long time. So also with this, be gentle with clearing out processed foods from your diet, because your body's going to start pushing the gunk out. So you may not feel great at first. So drink plenty of water, filtered water, okay? As clean as you can get it. As clean as you can get that water, get it. You're worth it. Your health is worth more than anything else, because without it, it's hard to live through life and be happy. Trust me, it really is. Food, keep it clean, keep it fresh. Seasonal is best. Okay? And if you really want to go up a notch, organic, because once you go organic, you don't want to go back, because you can taste the difference in your food. And cook your own food. Make sure that you're really using high quality ingredients, especially when it comes to oils. Okay? Any oils that you're using, use the best quality you can get. Alrighty? I'm a huge fan of olive oil. Huge. I use other types of oils, but they're cold pressed. I'm really particular about the quality of food. And it's not to say that every once in a while you can't have a little junk food and dessert, whatever. But just remember, you are what you eat. And what you eat also determines on how well you feel when you get up. And if you can, stop eating by 7. Okay? Start giving your body a break from processing foods while it's trying to just restore itself when you're supposed to be sleeping. Sleeping and restoring, as opposed to working on digesting a bunch of food that you ate right before you went to sleep. This is all basic stuff, and it is very useful stuff. Okay? Very, very useful stuff. So the qualities of the breath, breathing, making time for yourself, moving your body, exercising, the food that you're eating, and I'm going to go back to the company that you keep. So let's say you're trying to do all of these things for yourself. You're trying to get up and go to sleep at the same time every day, right? But you got friends that are like, "No, come on, let's go hang out." And you're like, "It's a work week. I got to get up in the morning. I got a bunch of stuff to do." And you know what? You don't even have to make excuses. This is what you're doing for yourself. You say, "Hey, I'm taking care of myself. I would love to hang out with you. Maybe we can do it when it's earlier or on the weekend when it's not so late. And I'm not saying that you can never go to sleep late. You know what I'm saying? If you want to establish healthy habits, you got to do them for a while. You got to get them, you got to get yourself in a groove. So that once in a while, when you do that, you cut loose, whatever, you go out dancing, you stay out till 1 or 2, you've been drinking lots of water while you're dancing, you feel good. You go to sleep, you feel good. You get up and you're like, all right, moving a little bit slower because you didn't get the 8 hours that you used to, but you're getting up and you're taking care of yourself again, right? Because there's also all sorts of poisons out there in the world. I mean, the air is full of them and the food, but you got to pick those things, right? You got to pick them wisely, and you also got to know your antidotes. So, first, before you get to that point, picking your poisons and knowing your antidotes, get rid of stuff so that you know what affects you and how it affects your body, and then how it's going to affect the rest of your day or the rest of your week. You're trying to establish new habits to become better friends with your own mind. And I remember my teacher, PRT, Pandit Rajmani Tiganayat, saying, how can you become friends with your mind if you're trying to kill it? Okay, I'm not saying that you need to become like a holy roller or totally, whatever, unless that's what you want to be. You do need balance, but when you're creating a new pathway for yourself, you do have to clear out the noise in order to do it. And then you get to know yourself, that true self, and you know what your limitations are, and you know how far you can go or how far you cannot go. This is what it's about. Okay? And once you start to get that clarity about yourself, you're empowered. All right? So the people that you spend time with make a huge difference. Are these people that have healthier lifestyles something more of like what you want to have? Great. Wonderful. Go for it. Now, let's say that doesn't happen right away. Well, you're in the process of becoming your own best friend. And that's a wonderful place to be, being your own best friend. And that means that you also start to become comfortable with your own company and being alone. You know, sometimes you can be with a group of people, but you're just not meant to be there, and you feel even more alone in those situations than you would if you were actually alone. Think about it. So sometimes it is better to be alone. And you're learning also how to create healthier boundaries for yourself. You know, boundaries for yourself and how you interact in the world and how you allow certain people to interact with you in your world, within your space, and around other people and communities. These are subtle things that we talk about more and more now, but if you weren't raised in an environment where people were talking about that, it's completely new. Learning new things takes time, and you got to pace yourself because change comes over time. Self mastery, right? Knowing yourself, this is something that happens over time. So you want to pace yourself and you want to be patient with yourself in this process. This is a part of being kind to yourself. So even though you may find yourself losing relationships or friendships that you thought were so important at one point of your life, you're going to find yourself making room for new people to come into your life. I love that saying, nature abhors a vacuum. Okay? But this time, you're making these choices based on your own self love and your own evolution and becoming the better part of yourself, coming into that. And remember that once you commit to this, it's a beautiful path. I have to say it is. And also, you'll find that you are a perennial student, always learning, always growing. Sometimes you take breaks and you have plateaus in order to integrate new things. And once you've integrated them, you're like, okay, Now it's time to go to the next level. But this is the perfect way to start your relationship with yourself, becoming the best version of yourself, so that when you move into the world, you're moving forward with your best foot forward. It's a beautiful thing. For some of us, it takes a little bit longer to figure that out. But I'm glad I can share this with you. And I hope that you found part 2 helpful. And again, if you have any questions, if there's anything that you want to ask about, leave comments about, please feel free to do so. And be mindful that there are other people here reading, that you want to be respectful to all, be kind to yourself. Enjoy the rest of this wonderful summer. I'm hoping that we continue to get beautiful weather like we've had the past couple of days. And I will see you next time. So in the meantime, take care of yourself and enjoy your life. Take good care. I'll see you again. Ciao.